here we are back for another conversation on a bench, and I am joined by another one of our amazing staff at Denver Rescue Mission, Joy McGuire Olsen, and we are also joined with George, the therapy dog. So welcome, Joy. Thanks for working late tonight and for being here.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be great if you just share a little bit about your role here and how long you've been here and why, because when I look at all the things you've done in your career, how did you end up at Denver Rescue Mission?
Wow, there's so many questions within
I
a
know,
question.
there really are.
All right, so I have been working with the Denver Rescue Mission for about 4 years. So I started in July of 2021, and how I ended up here is I made a decision in my life to do something different.
Yeah.
I'm actually Minnesotan at heart, and so
Midwest.
Right. A major move for myself in my life. I was, young enough to still move, but yet old enough and wise enough to make a good decision. And so moving out to family, kind of getting settled. My brother-in-law worked at the mission at the warehouse. And so while I was looking for work, I decided this would be an option for me. And it kind of all the things came together beautifully as far as all the work that I've done before coming here and then the things I was able to do here. And I think a big portion of what kind of made it click and work really well is when you have a place to be able to do the work that you've been trained to do by the world, but you're then filtering it through your faith, right? Because there's things that the world says, well, this will make it better, but I want to make it eternal.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that this job offered me. And so I started out as a clinician working with the Bridge folks in the kids and the youth department as a mental health provider. And then as time went on, I dug in and earned my spot after our grant was over to be able to continue to work here. And then just looked for other opportunities to move up. And now I'm one of the directors at the Crossing.
Yeah, and working in the clinical space and leading our clinical teams, and which is just absolutely amazing. And so tell us a little bit about George and the role that he plays.
Oh gosh, a little bit. I'll try to summarize this as best I can. I know from colleagues that have been working in the mental health space that animal-assisted interventions and therapies are really powerful. And have a colleague that's actually doing equine therapy, and I'm not yet savvy enough to do that, nor do I have deep enough pockets. So thought of another alternative in the city, what would be helpful. And so just knowing that dogs are really impactful, and all the research that goes in with animals being able to kind of break thresholds that human to human contact really just doesn't do. And so I did a little bit of research and some begging and some prodding of my leadership at that time to be able to see, is this an option? Can we do this? And I will spearhead it. I will do everything to make it work really well. And so I kind of looked at what the City of Denver Police Department was doing with their therapy dog, and her name, I believe, is Sadie. And she is also a black English lab.
Oh, really?
And so I was like, ooh, if she works well with the police department, a dog like that might work well with me. And so after some prayer and consideration, my husband's like, okay, well, we'll get a dog. And so we embarked on the journey to be able to bring that here. And there just continues to be opportunities and things that happen that amaze me every time. And so George was with me today, and he hasn't been at the office for probably 6 months.
Okay.
A good indicator of that was his vest was pretty tight when we put it on. But anyway, but just being here, and some of the folks that were here when he was last here, got to see him again, play with him. And some other newer participants were able to say, oh my gosh, I miss my dog. This is so awesome. And thanks for bringing him. And what do I get to do with him? And all that kind of stuff. And for some of them, it was like, oh, I can really breathe. That I see there's another thing here that reaffirms that I'm in the right place. And so that's one of the things that we really enjoy. And he couldn't love people more.
Right. Yeah, you can tell.
Yes.
Yeah. And his tail is not stopped wagging.
Exactly.
There's a friend of mine who has a therapy dog, and she used to work in the same space that we do. And I'll never forget, she said to me once, she said, some of the guests we come alongside, they won't talk to me, but they'll talk to the dog. and they'll talk to the therapy dog as if they're talking to me, but they're talking to the dog. And have you experienced some similar things like that?
I really have.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. And not just our adults, but some of our kids.
Yeah.
Right? And even for some of our kids that maybe are nervous or scared around animals, and then they're given this opportunity to be able to meet George, and one of his favorite things is to go down the slide and chase them on the playground. And so kind of breaking down that barrier for them too, and then being able to watch them kind of reach out and try something that they maybe wouldn't have done, but in a very safe place, is really, really cool to see.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not just our participants. I would say half of the visitors that come and see George are staff.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, I've just really had a bad day. Can I just sit with you and let him just be by me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. He'll kiss anyone's face, whether it's dry or it's tear-filled, right?
Well, there's still time. Maybe he'll jump up on one of us. Who knows?
I hope not.
He was sitting on the bench earlier.
Yes,
that was really cool.
He was.
Yeah. So what has been one of the most rewarding aspects of your work at Denver Rescue Mission?
You know, I think it's really about, you know, what your the mission statement, you know, part of it says is just meeting people at their point of need.
That's right.
Right. And I give because I was given to. I have a really strong pull to not hold all of those blessings to myself, but to give it out. Right.
Yeah.
And I like being in a place where in some ways I'm challenging society's view without them really knowing that I'm freely giving to a person that other people think hasn't earned a place for a gift.
Yes.
And so
they don't deserve it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it's like, the person's alive and breathing today. What do you mean they don't deserve it?
Yeah.
Right. And so like, I like that opportunity. And I also, like I had mentioned before, having a place where you can dovetail your faith into what happens and into how you react and into how you speak.
Yeah.
But yet at the same time, that's not the first thing that comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
The first thing isn't.
Say more about that. Yeah.
The first thing isn't, well, are you a Jesus follower? Because if you're not, I can't do that.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Like, did you shower today? I can't talk to you. But it's more like coming forward with humility, and it really disarms people.
It
like,
does.
You want to know about me? Why would you want to know about me?
Yeah.
Well, because you're my neighbor.
Yeah.
And I want to know who my neighbors are.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not your neighbor. I don't live in your neighborhood. You do.
Yeah.
You really do.
That's
because
right.
there's a space that's in my neighborhood that you need to fill.
Amen. Yeah.
And so that part of it, I think, is just like more powerful, I think, than people maybe realize if they haven't worked in that and haven't had that opportunity.
Yeah.
And again, I just like to be able to say, yep, the world says that, you're right. And we can try a bit of that.
Yeah.
But once you're comfortable with that, can I give you a gift again that is going to be for eternity and not just for this temporal world?
Oh, yeah, that's so true. And one of the things that I love about, you know, what you were talking about is being in this work environment where our faith is so much a part of who we are and what we do. But I also love that it's such a practical faith, right? Like we're not busting out too many theological textbooks around here, right?
Thank goodness.
Yeah, right. But what we're really trying to do is, you said it so well, we're meeting people at their point of need. And if they're hungry, we feed them. If they need clothes, we give them to them. Yeah. If they're lonely, we come alongside them. We love them. We don't do this with judgment or condemnation. You know, I love that Jesus said that he did not come into the world to condemn people. And, you know, one of the things that has challenged me is this idea that, well, if Jesus didn't come into the world to condemn people, why do we think we can? Right? And we're seeing our neighbors. We're helping our neighbors. And that's what we get to do every single day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's the support of staff also having a like-mindedness.
Yes.
That when you have a struggle, right, it's not, well, what did you do wrong? Or how are you going to correct it? It also can be supplemented with, how can I pray for you through that? Right? Instead of it being, well, I'll just take my box of disappointment home with me and try to sort it out at home, which, you know, a lot of us are not good at anyway.
Right.
And so even in that, I think there's then the opportunity for us to then give back what we've been given.
Yeah.
And we then
Yeah.
build into the community that we're supporting because we've been supported
Yeah.
in having that.
Yeah, and to whom much is given, much is required, right? Those are words of Jesus.
Yeah.
And we've been given so much, and there's a requirement that comes with that, but there's a blessing with that requirement, right? It's not a burden. Oh no, I have to go do this work. I have to go help somebody. It's a blessing. It really is.
Yeah, and it's not a naivety of this false,
Yes.
like glorified, oh, everything's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not it. It's really the blessing is like, when I talk to people about you can chase happiness and you'll run up a mountaintop and go back down.
Yeah,
But you want to chase joy.
yeah,
Because that's the river that cuts through the different courses of our life, and it's the constant, and there's parts where it's rapids, and there's parts where it's calm, and there's parts that invite beautiful flowers and different things of growth.
yeah,
And that's what's going to sustain you.
yeah,
Running up the mountain and coming back down, it was good for a moment. What are we chasing, moments?
Yeah.
No, I want to chase that constance.
yeah,
And that is what we're going to have when we go to heaven. But this is a place for us to practice, being steadfast. And that's right where the blessing, I think, really is, not
Yeah.
this kind
Yeah.
of stuff. But
yeah,
I can show up tomorrow, even though I
Yeah.
know it's going to be hard,
yeah,
because I went through it today. He showed up today. He'll show up tomorrow.
yeah, yeah. So is there a story from someone that you worked with that just it's the one that touches your heart the most? I know there's
Is there
probably a lot
one?
of them.
Oh man. I guess I would probably hearken back to like the first group of clients that I had when I was here, and having to go through the process myself of addressing my bias and addressing the stigma that I had of individuals who are not housed. And coming from northern Minnesota, we don't see
Yeah.
our unhoused.
Right.
It's too cold.
Yeah,
They freeze.
that's true.
And so it's not in your face. And then coming to this community, it's at every corner.
Yeah.
And then being like, what is happening? And who are these people? And like, really, they should be doing something. But connecting with my first set of clients and just seeing the vast backgrounds they're coming from.
Yeah.
And one person knew more languages and had been to different countries of the world than I've ever been in before. And I'm like,
Wow.
how are you here? Right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was from a medical emergency.
Really?
That took his livelihood, that took his home, that took his vehicle, and he was just surviving.
Yeah.
And then came to a point where he's living here and he's thriving, but then had to go through another major medical emergency where he had to have open heart surgery. And my husband has had open heart surgery, and so I was able to like lovingly stand beside him with his questions and encouraging him to ask things at the doctor's office and helping him change his wardrobe so that things were clasped in the front and not in the back, and just kind of going through that whole thing with him. And just like, I would do that for my neighbor.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
reach out to the person next door to me and do
Yeah.
that. He's not any different, right?
right.
And just really having that solidified made it so clear then, yes, I can still see people who aren't ready, but I'm working with people who have now said that they are.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
do I walk with them at their pace, at their, junctures, struggling with whatever they are, but just be present.
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers,
Yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
do and God does.
Yeah. That's
And
right.
so meeting them again where they were, and that was just like, there's so many things. What can I know about you?
Right.
That's where it turns into.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So joy, what gives you joy?
Oh gosh. I think there's a lot of things. There's the consistency of community. So being plugged in, right, in the right spaces and places like your church or with your family and things like that, because that really can help fill the cup faster while
Right.
you're turning your head this way to respond to crisis. They're filling it up. The other part of it is just seeing the things that God has done for me since I came out here, and just things that shouldn't have happened, right?
Yeah.
You're just like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess you want me here. And that part has really been what fuels the tank, and really looking forward to what he's going to open up for me next.
Yeah.
Right? What are the other opportunities or the people that are coming my way? What are the
Yeah.
things that George is going to be able to do with me?
Yeah.
I don't know what they are, and who knows if I'll ever hear what it has been.
Yeah.
But really, at the end of the day, then just to be able to know that I took a risk, just
Yeah.
like all of our participants are taking a risk to come into
Right.
shelter and to come in and do something different. And I know that when God starts something, there's nothing that can stop it.
Mm-hmm.
We think it does,
Right.
but he sees from so much higher up. No, it's still moving. Just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's part of it.
Wow.
And
Thank you for
tortillas.
that. And tortillas. Tortillas give you joy.
They do.
Okay.
Mom,
yeah.
I'll take some
Yeah.
tortillas.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I'm a breakfast burrito
Yes.
fan here in Colorado. That's for sure.
Yes.
Well, I'm so glad that that you came to sit on the bench. Thanks for bringing George.
Yeah.
And just thank you for what you do and for who you are and for why you do it. We're a better mission because of you and your team. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
And we're going to come right back with our next guest right after a break.